Well, this is John Black, Super Chemist. We're on a new playlist called BIPOC. But before we do get into it, we're going to do this
Boston's
clip.
mayor is under fire for a holiday hiccup. Michelle Wu reportedly sent an invitation for her holiday party exclusively intended for electeds of color. It was mistakenly distributed to all members of the Boston City Council by an aide. Approximately 15 minutes later, the aide, Denise DeSantos, sent a follow-up email and apologized for the earlier message about the holiday party scheduled for the next day, clarifying that the white councilors were not meant to receive an invitation.
The revelation is receiving harsh backlash online. Libs of TikTok wrote on X, the mayor of Boston invited only electeds of color to a holiday party. The email was mistakenly sent to all city council members, including the white ones. One white council member called it divisive. The party is still scheduled to take place, and only black council members were invited. Now, Boston City Council is comprised of 6 minority members and 7 white members. Seems like, why can't they just have you can have a party to celebrate the strides people of color have made in all facets of life, including being elected to Congress, that like everyone can attend.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if I would have played more of the clip, basically the woman, okay, she's woke. She says that, well, we have, things for, events that celebrate the handicapped or veterans or, this or that, you know what I mean? So I don't see what's wrong with this. What's wrong with it is not that you see she's twisting it and whatever so that it says that what they're doing wrong is celebrating blackness. No. The celebrating the black people is not what they're complaining about. What they're complaining about is that you're segregating. You're saying no, you're putting a sign outside your event saying that no whites allowed. That's the part. When you celebrate veterans and they have a thing for they don't say only veterans can come on here and the rest of you white people, you can't come in. I mean, it's like, come on, man. It's like this is a government. This is a mayor, for God's sakes, inviting the council, the aldermen, basically the Congress of the city. The mayor would be like the president. Your Congress would be the aldermans or whatever she called them, the council or whatever. She invites all the Congress people to this event, this party or whatever it is, and she sends out letters, and she only wants the black people to come, the people of color, no whites. Yeah, like, come on, man, you can't see what's wrong with that. So what's BIPOC? Okay, BIPOC is I thought it stood for biracial people or people of color. BI, biracial. Now it actually stands for Black, Indigenous, and then the POC stands for people of color, which is funny because black is redundant. You know what I mean? If you people of color, that would include black people. You know what I'm saying? So saying it twice, black people, black, the I is for indigenous, like an Indian, an American Indian, and the POC is for people of color. Obviously, that's obvious. But what does it really mean? What it really means is everyone's included except whites. What it really means is no whites. So what does BIPOC mean? It means no whites. That's exactly what it means, okay? Let's see here. Now, it came out around 1796, but it was just a descriptive word that was put into the dictionary, the Oxford English Dictionary, and that was it. It was just a word. Wasn't put into practice to any, for any discrimination or anything like that. And but then around 2013, okay, it started surfacing as a discrimination type thing. Now I want you to think about this, right? This is the funniest part, because I only make videos about stuff that is so backwards, batshit crazy, outrageously hilarious. It's crazy, you know what I mean? Uh, but they used to have, let's say here's the one place, one building, right? You got the white building and you got the black building, right? So they used to have the white building, right? They have a sign outside that says "No blacks." Okay, I'm not gonna. We could say people of color, or we can name. I don't want to name it. Let's just keep it to white and black. So my story is simple for me to tell it. Okay, so we're gonna take Asians and Mexicans and Hispanics and blah 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 out the mix. We're just gonna say white and black. Okay. So they used to have the white building. They'd have the sign outside, "No blacks." Okay. And then of course we said, no, we can't. You can't do that. That's crazy, man. So how do they get? And they've been trying to segregate. Like Joe Biden was a segregationist his whole life. You know what I mean? He fought for segregation. He didn't want the black kids into the little. The little black kids are like roaches. If you let them into the white kids' schools, you'll never get them out because they're like roaches. And you let the black kids into the white schools, you're going to make racial jungles. You know what I mean? All his friends were KKK friends. You know what I mean? His lifetime mentor was the exalted Cyclops of the KKK that he eulogized at his funeral and said all these great things about how, thank God for him, being in the government, because Robert Byrd was a congressman. One of his best buddies, Biden's best buddies, the Cyclops. Exalted Cyclops of the KKK, Robert Byrd. That was Biden's mentor. Anyways, I'm getting off the subject. But so how do you trick people into? How do you get to a white place and the blacks and everybody else goes to this and all the whites just go to this one? How do you do it if you can't put up no blacks? What you do is you go and instead of having a white guy in front of this white building with a no black sign saying, "Hey, black people, you can't come in here." What they did was they took the no blacks sign down, and instead of a white guy in front of the school directing blacks away and people of color, they get a black guy. So now you got your white building that you only want white people to, right? You put a black guy in front, and what he says, he doesn't tell the black people, no, you can't come in here. He says, you can go in there, there's a bunch of racist white people in there. If you go over to the here sign and over this black building here, and on this sign, what they did was they put up a BIPOC sign. Now remember, what does BIPOC mean? It means everybody except whites. It means no whites, basically. Okay, it exactly means no whites. Okay, so they took the no black sign down off of the white building, right? And they put a no whites sign up on the black building, right? And instead of a white man being at the white building directing the black people to the black building, right? They put a black guy in front of the white building. And now they don't say, no, you can't go into the white building, but you can go over this no whites building, this black building here, and you'll be safe from the bad white people. And you know what the black people did? They said, "Oh, that's not exactly the same thing as the KKK was telling us. So we're going to agree to do that. That sounds like a good idea." Because they're mentally retarded. Okay, not because of their skin color. If everything was switched around and the whites were slaves and the blacks were masters, the white people would be acting just as stupid. You know what I mean? Because this is a trick. This is a trick on the black people. But now let's see the segregationist Joe Biden, right? A lifetime segregator, lifetime making bills that incarcerated black people, to a 20-time degree higher rate than white people, but whatever. But where's my notes at? Okay, so at 2013 is when BIPOC actually came into existence, where it was creating a discrimination type thing. You know what I mean? They were putting these no white signs up, in classes and colleges, on safe spaces. You know what I mean? Safe spaces, and extracurricular activities. You might have a bowling or something, or some kind of activity event or whatever. They started putting no white signs up. Okay, but it was just very sporadic. It was actually nothing. You know what I mean? A class in one college here, and maybe 3 states over another class in this college, and then 3 states over there might be another extracurricular or something that had to. It wasn't no big deal until 2020. Then in 2020, and guess what? Joe Biden took over the office. The non-existent almost BIPOC stuff that happened in 2013 and on spiked. Like, here's BIPOC, it's like almost non-existent. And then all of a sudden, 2020, boop, it goes all the way up here because Biden took over, the segregationist. And now he is segregating again. And what's funny is he has the same thing. It's like no whites here, no whites in the black building, right? That's the same exact thing as no whites in the white building, right? You're just segregating. You're putting everyone here except white people and all the white people over here. So you're getting the same effect. Like, and everyone is like, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Let's do it exactly like the KKK. Because if we want to not be racist, obviously what? You're going to do whatever the KKK was doing, right? Because that makes total sense. Okay? You see how hilarious this is? Like, and the funny thing is you have black people, they eat it up. They eat it up. They eat it up. Oh, you mean they want me to go over here and have all the white people separated from everyone else from every color and race? It comes over here, and just the white people go over here? Yeah, that makes sense. Let's do that. That's not segregation. It's like you literally have got you if you're black or people of color, you have been tricked to self-segregating yourself away from white people. Like that was the whole main goal of Biden during segregation days. That was the whole main goal of racist people. And what do? You embrace it. You hug it. Oh, BIPOC, no whites. Finally, I can get away from the whites. And the white elites, they're laughing. They're laughing at you because you're so stupid that you would think that BIPOC is no more than a KKK throwback from slave times and from the 1800s. It's ridiculous. But it's all about doublespeak. It's all about doublespeak. They make how do you make segregation, seem good? I don't understand it. I thought we were all on a page, but the Democrats, they can't give up segregation. They can't give up slavery. They can't give up. That's just a core. I understand Democrats down at the bottom that are peons or they're just voters. I'm talking about the machine, the Democratic machine, the people at the top running the DNC. These people are racist. They've always been racist, and they've always wanted slavery. They always wanted segregation. Why do you think happened to 80,000 illegal alien children went missing in the United States? How do you, 80,000? It's not 80,000. Where do you think they are? They're obviously slaves. Who did that? Who opened the borders up and allowed 80,000 children, unintended children, to come into the United States and be sold off one by one? Who did it? Biden did that. Why? Because they want slavery back. They want segregation. They love it. They want their schools to be with no other people except white people. And you have you just gobbled it up, BIPOC. No whites. Oh, no whites. Oh, that's great. Oh, right. No whites. That's not racist. Yeah.